Okay, what I'm going to do here today is I'm going to do a review on this work light made by a company named Defiant, and it's an LED work light. I just got this yesterday. I found it at Home Depot, about $23, and I looked at all of these LEDs and I thought to myself, that's got to be ridiculously bright. And it is. I've already turned it on, and it is amazingly bright. But what I wanted to do here today is, my question when I first saw it was what I think everybody's question is going to be: is it as bright as the standard old-fashioned work light, light bulb that everybody's been using? It's meant to be used the same way, for like working on the engine, out in the driveway after dark, or any tight area like the attic, but certainly nowhere near as hot or dangerous as this one. Also, battery operated, no cord. There's this one you gotta plug in. And so it looks great, and it is ridiculously bright, as you'll see here in a second. Yeah, you see, and of course the camera's going to kind of compensate, and I'm going to let, I don't know, it should still give you a pretty good idea of what's going on here. And I just wanted to show you the basic things. Like, it says that it swivels to do whatever you need to do there, and it also goes this way so that you could shine it straight up to the ceiling if you wanted to, because if you're in a dark room and this is your only source of light, shine it straight up to the ceiling, and if it's a white ceiling, it'll bounce down and probably light the whole room. And I'll test that theory here in a second. But something I just realized, I didn't realize in the store, is that it's got a magnetic base. So, I think you could, stick it wherever you want. And then angle it to what you're doing, as long as you're near something metal. And then light it up. But, yeah, so far it's been great. And I got no problems with it whatsoever. It is amazingly bright, and so I'm just going to test a couple of things here. It says super bright, and it is super bright. Oh, effective beam 82 feet away. 82 feet's a long way. I don't think I can test that. I just showed you how it swivels. The charger, yeah, definitely came with one of those, and I charged it up last night. Oh, I should mention, it comes in the package charged. So if you happen to be in trouble already and you need a work light and you need to grab this off the shelf, it is ready to go. It will light up right out of the store without charging. And so that's probably important to know. And then you can plug it in to charge it up. What else we got here? Oh, I'm in Spanish. Okay, that's it. Now something else, and down here it says that it's magnetic, and I hadn't noticed that in the store, so that's just like a bonus. 90 lumens, I don't know what that means. I probably should have researched that before I started this. But here it says it lasts for 4 hours. I will test that today. 25 meters, 25 times 3 is around 90. Okay, that's the distance. That's the 82 feet that it says that it can shine. I already believe it. I don't think there's a need to test that. But I'll be testing the time that it will stay on, and also just be testing its brightness level compared to regular work light. So I think that what I should do, I'll test this with the lights on, and then I'll test it with the lights off. So let me just do this on the floor. This is the work light, the bulb. Something I'm noticing right off the bat here is that it is not as directed. This is more of a wide beam. And then, okay, try to balance that. It's not going to happen. So I'll grab it like this, and then I will put this like right next to it and see if anything shows up. So I've got this right up against it. It's a different kind of light. I'm actually surprised to see that you could see, wow. I'm already thinking it's brighter than the regular work light. Anyway, let me turn this one off. And to just turn this one on. That's really, I think, brighter than the other one. But what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to turn the overhead lights off after turning at least one of these on so that I can see. And then we'll test that. So here we go. Alright, we're in the dark now. The only source of light is that work light. So, lighting up the area kind of lights up the whole area. The camera is lying a little bit. The camera is showing it a little brighter than what I'm seeing with my eyes. So let me kind of leave that one on, and then I'll bring this one out and I'll turn it on. Okay, that's a lot brighter. Right, I got to say, wow. It is brighter than the standard work light, without question. This is amazing. The camera's not lying. It really is that bright. Wow. Okay, so let me try this without this work light, the bulb light at all. And I'm purposely not shining that straight at the camera because I don't know what it's going to do. Okay, so this is just this work light now. Interesting. Okay, so it's much more focused. It's definitely showing things really bright, but only exactly where you're focusing it. See that? It is a directed beam, a little bit wider than, you know, a straight beam like a flashlight, probably because it's, boy, I'm scared here for the camera. See that? It's, you know, being rectangular. But so off to the sides of it is not quite as bright as, say, what this one does. This, and let me turn the other one off. Okay, so nothing but the standard bulb work light on now. And as you can see on the sides of it, it's lighting up everything on the sides as well. Kind of evenly, not really not lighting up what's straight ahead of it any more than what's to the sides of it. So they're very different. I'd have to say the LED one is brighter, but that might be because it's directed. It's concentrated straight forward. Which is fine. I mean, oh yeah, let me test that theory of shining it straight up at the ceiling to see what it does when it bounces off. See if we can light up the whole room. Let me turn this one off. Okay. So it's doing that. Got it bouncing off the ceiling there. And it is a very dimly lit room. Yeah, so it does it, you can see. But I think being so directed, it doesn't diffuse so much. Whereas if I was to bring this one and do the same thing, shine it straight up. Oh yeah, it lights up the whole room. So, I mean, depending on what you're looking for, it's hard to tell which one wins. Here, we just show these side by side. I'll show them side by side. They're different types of light. Like, for example, well, the camera's doing tricks. Here it looks like the standard bulb is much brighter, but to the eye they look exactly the same, really, to to me. Like if I were to take this away, oop, yeah, that one goes brighter. That's the camera doing it, camera compensating. Whereas you bring in something that has a brighter center, the camera will probably, this is probably not very smart for the camera. Anyway, I think that what we got here is the standard work light lights up a whole room better, but this one's brighter in a straight line. And that is close enough, because what's great about this one that you don't get in the other one is just, I mean, there's no cord. And that's worth everything. Anyway, so I have finished that part of the test. I personally would prefer this over that one in pretty much every situation. So what I'm going to do now, I have used up, I was playing with it a little bit this morning, plus now I would have to say that I used up 10 minutes of its charged. I fully charged this last night with the charger, and I'm going to leave this on. And it is, I've got the clock out here. It is now 1:51 in the afternoon. So this thing should be able to stay lit until 5:51 or 5:41 roughly. And so I'll check on it a couple of times to see if it's still on. I'll check on it in about 2 hours and see if it's still on. And we will prove or disprove what they're saying here with the 4-minute time. So, leaving it on and leaving the room, and I'll be right back. Okay, so here we are after a little while. It's still on. Time is now 4:19. I think it was 1:51 before. So it's been about 2.5 hours, and it's still shining real bright. I'm trying to decide if it's any dimmer. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Let me look at it compared to this one, which is not plugged in. Okay, let's see how quickly I can plug it in. Alright. Let's see what we got. Okay. Now, with any chance, I can actually go back and compare this scene with this previous scene. Hopefully I'm showing the previous scene, showing the difference in brightness. Sure looks like the LEDs were brighter at the beginning. Okay, now switching back to current. After 2.5 hours, this is where they're at, and that's the comparison. So, I think it's getting dimmer. I really do. I'm going to turn off the light and see what we got. Of course, it's understandable. I don't know. Seems about this. Still pretty bright. After 2.5 hours, I would certainly still be able to be working. You know, certainly more than lights up what you're doing. So that's good. I will leave this going. Let's see. So at too bright. 4:21, I'm gonna have to leave here, and I may be gone longer than 1.5 hours, which is gonna be its 4-hour mark. So I don't know if it'll still be on or not. I don't know if that's when it just starts getting really dim, or if it's supposed to be completely off after 4 hours, but I'll leave it on, and we'll see when I get back and see if we can determine what's happening and what we have. So that's it for this scene. Alright, so here we go. It is still on. And it is 5:55. I believe the 4-hour mark was 5:51. So this has definitely hit 4 hours. And actually at this point I was expecting it to be just barely trickling. Let me turn out the light and see. Alright. It's still pretty bright. Quite surprised actually. Not as bright as it was, but amazingly still on. Alright, so let's do that side-by-side comparison with the other light. It's going to be way dimmer. Yeah. The one that's plugged in, of course, has a lot more brightness. But when you consider this one has been on for 4 hours without being plugged in, that's not bad. Anyway, it appears as though this is going to stay on for a long time. Like, I would say probably 2 more hours. And I don't know how much farther it's going to go. And this is actually where I'm going to stop it though, because all I was looking to do was prove that it hit 4 hours on this review. I'd have to say this light is awesome. I really like it. It was definitely a good buy. 23 bucks and you're guaranteed 4 hours of light. And I give it an A+. This is a great light. It does everything it says it does, and it's just cool. I guess the only thing I didn't mention is that it's got the magnet on the bottom. It's also got that hook that pops out. So if you're on somewhere that you can't put the magnet on, can't do it with one hand. Anyway, that hook pops out and you can just hook it like you can with those. But that will do it. I may leave it on. That's still very bright. I may leave it on just to see how long it goes, and I'll maybe come back at the end here and tell you how long it stayed on. But otherwise, if this is the end, I appreciate you watching. And I'm always messing with stuff. I review stuff, I take stuff apart, I do photography and stuff, and then there's a lot of kids' toys because this is actually mainly a kids' channel. So please subscribe if you want to see more of just that kind of diversity, and I appreciate you watching. Thanks. Okay, one last little clip here, and it's definitely starting to go dim now. Definitely losing its brightness. Of course, it's 6:56, so this is an hour later. This is 5 hours it's been on. So that's not bad. Now it's actually looking a little bright on the camera, but in person it's dim. It's really not. Yeah, see there, it's not doing the trick anymore. But all they promised, yeah, it's not lighting up for 4 anymore. But all they promised was the 4 hours, and it definitely does that. Okay, now I'm done. Thanks for watching. Bye.